Hey everyone, I just finished my build of this cool little stick art cabin right here. I'm pretty excited about how it turned out, and I took quite a bit of time-lapse video over the past few days as I was building it. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the whole build from start to finish. So stick around if you think this is something you'd be interested in. This cabin was mostly inspired by the art of Patrick Donaghy, who creates these really amazing larger-than-life stick sculptures. But I actually first heard about this thing from an artist named Nikki Lewis out of Vancouver, who is building these cool mythical creature stick sculptures at a park in her neighborhood. So I definitely have both Nikki and Patrick to thank for the inspiration for this project. So let's get to it.
So here's the space we're working with at the start of the build. You can see I've cleared and packed down about a 12-foot round area and then dug 10 holes about 12 inches deep with a manual post hole digger or clam shovel. These holes are where the frame for my structure are going to go, and they don't have to be too deep as they're just holding the frame in place. As you can see, we've obviously had a light dusting of snow already, but as you'll see throughout the video, it melted pretty quick, and the ground remained unfrozen, so it didn't cause us any problems. The general idea is to make a cabin in the shape of an igloo, with a big sweeping swoosh that comes up off the doorway and ends somewhere up on top. My hope is that in the summer the kids can play and possibly even camp in it, and in the middle of winter it'll get covered in snow, and we'll make a really solid little sealed up cabin, kind of like an igloo. I've decided to tuck it away into this little alcove between this group of trees, which we're going to clean up a little bit as well as we work, and I think it'll be a great little addition to the space. So the first thing we're doing here is putting a few of the larger diameter sticks that we've gathered into a few of the holes, trying to get them to bend nicely, and then we're tying them together with some string. Now that I've got the first few pieces of frame in place, I'm going to frame out the front door with a couple more sticks. Now we're going to work the rest of the frame into place. Here I'm adding a few bracing pieces to the inside of the structure just to hold it out until we get a few more sticks in place. Now I'm adding a bit of cross bracing to hopefully try and get the frame to hold its own shape. From here we're just going to add more and more bracing pieces to make the shape stronger and also to give ourselves something to tie the sticks into that are going to cover the outside. It's a bit important to go in a few different directions, especially the opposite direction that your outside sticks are going to go to so that you can easily tie them in later. Alright, so this is what we look like after day one, maybe 3 to 4 hours of work. You can see there's basically a mesh lattice work of sticks that's going to hold everything together. There's a few bracing pieces on the inside that are going to hold a few of the frame pieces outwards, so they're giving it a nice round bendy shape, but those will come out once we get a few more sticks in there and it's kind of holding itself together a little bit better. Now that the initial framework is complete, I'm going to work on having all the sticks on the structure cover everything and go in one direction, which for me is going to be up and to the right, which will hopefully give the piece a sweeping feel, feel kind of like it's moving even while it's standing still. As you can see here, I've collected a bunch more bendy sticks and saplings for today's work, various types of wood, and I'm mostly going to try and start around the top and work my way towards the bottom as much as possible, although you'll see sticks kind of go everywhere. The other thing I really need to work on is the doorway, as I'm going to attempt to wrap sticks around it to hide the post as much as possible. It's going to take a lot of work to get that done, so I want to get on it as soon as possible. All sticks are tapered, so they're thicker at the bottom than at the top. So you really want all your sticks going in one direction with the thinner side pointed up to give the piece the feeling that all the sticks are sweeping up at once. The best way to fit the sticks in is to find an approximate location you want it to go and then cut it to length if need be, and then slide the thin part of the stick in first, just a bit too far past where you want it to go, and then bend the stick a bit and pull it back into place to lock the thicker bottom part of the stick into place, and then it should hold quite nicely. It might sound a bit complicated, but it's actually quite easy to do. You just have to do it over and over and over and over again until you have something you're happy with. Now I'm going to use a ladder to get to the top where I can't quite reach. The piece is actually already quite sturdy, and it can hold my full weight if I want to brace myself with my foot. Okay, so here's where we're at now, halfway through day 2. Obviously lots more work to do, but we can show you the back here as well. Now I'm going to start working on really trying to fill things in without just bigger sticks, with smaller sticks as well. And also I'm going to start working on that swoosh that's going to kind of up off the door and then swoop around to the back, right up to the top. Alright, here we are on day 3, the next morning. Just a lot more filling in to do, especially on the top, so I'm going to get to that first thing. Alright, here's where we're at after day 3, looking pretty good so far. The one major thing we still need to do is clean up the inside. Obviously there's a lot of stick ends protruding into the inside of the cabin, so we'll need to get in there and trim all that away, or at least lock those protruding sticks into other sticks the best that we can to get them out of harm's way. And then there's a bit more filling in to do as well. So now we've got the interior cleaned up, and we've given the area a rake, and I'm pretty happy with the coverage of the sticks. So we're going to give the area a more finished look now by adding some pea gravel, and then turning the burn pit into a nice rock fire pit. Alright, there we go, we're complete. I'm pretty pleased with how this all turned out. Let's go ahead and give you a little tour of our new stick cabin. Here it is from the left. Here it is from the back. Here it is from the right side. And here it is from the inside. Thanks for watching.